If I was to identify the things I'm most passionate about, it would come down to two things, the church and the family. And the family's most explicit, overt need in these days is to solve the education challenge, then we need to do something. Watching the overt antagonism of the public government school system against the family and against parents, it became a problem to try to solve pastorally, not something I just came to theologically. But for me, it came down to this singular question: who owns the children? And we know theologically that God owns the children because He made the children. And it's the parents' primary responsibility to educate and disciple those children in the fear and admonition of the Lord. To not try to start a Christian school would be, for me personally, a dereliction of my pastoral duties. At that point, it became really uncomfortable because I didn't want to, I didn't know how, and I intuitively sensed it would be the hardest thing we'd ever done. So I said, well, let's go visit some schools. We were so encouraged and so impressed, but it was also simultaneously discouraging. The largest, oldest Christian school in the state. They're on the beautiful 25-acre campus. They own it outright. They own the property. They own the buildings. They barely scrape by financially. And then we left that school, and there was a $115 million brand new building that the government had just funded and built with our tax dollars. It's not David and Goliath, it's Goliath and the gnat. We went and had dinner with one of our ESAP members that night, and they said, how'd it go? And I said, it's impossible. And the mom looked at me and she said, I get that you're discouraged, but you can't not do this. We're grandparents now. Our kids don't have the frame to homeschool, nor the time, nor the energy, because we don't live in a single income world anymore. They both have to work to survive, and they need a place that can be an ally for them in shaping the minds and hearts of their children to fulfill their mandate to raise their children in the fear and admonition of the Lord. So I get that you're discouraged, I get that you're tired, but you're gonna figure out a way to do it. And we're in, heart and soul. And I woke up the next morning in the vision of a school was burning in my heart.
I grew up in New Brighton, Minnesota. I was really into hockey, really into sports when I was growing up. That was a big part of my identity. Got through high school, I had a really good group of friends there. One of the guys was a strong believer. That was really the first time that I had been exposed to like the authentic gospel. Worked really hard to get an opportunity to play Division I hockey. Through that period of my life, early 20s, young adulthood, was not walking with the Lord. Got an opportunity to get Division I coaching experience while getting my master's degree. And then that led to my first full-time coaching job, which was with the Wenatchee Wild. I met my wife, she's from East Wenatchee. Started going to Grace City Church when the church opened up on the campus. We just caught on fire for the Lord. That just solidified our faith, and we were like, well, we need to publicly profess our faith, be baptized, and just be all in from here out.
We have a fundamental conviction at Grace City Church that God will never call us to do something He hasn't resourced us for, both money, facilities, and people. And so we wanted someone as a headmaster who had Grace City already in their bones. We're driving home from Spokane. All of us elders are in the car. Adam's in the back and he goes, well, what about Ryan McKelvey? And I go, that sounds awesome. Who's Ryan McKelvey? And he starts going down the list, like, had a spiritual awakening at Grace City, a courageous leader of his family. This guy's amazing. Like, let's talk to him tomorrow. Where does he live? And Kent goes, well, I think he's in Colorado.
We moved to Loveland, Colorado. I was the athletic director for Resurrection Christian School. Almost immediately when we moved there, we realized that this was not going to be our long-term home. We just absolutely loved Grace City Church. We knew that was our church home. We wanted to move back to Wenatchee, raise our family here. And then at the same time, I was also looking at how to become a head of school or headmaster. And I was looking at opportunities in Colorado to do that. And because we didn't think the two could meet here in Wenatchee, where I could do that professionally and we could move back to Wenatchee. So we were looking at either moving back to Wenatchee me just taking a job to basically pay our bills and be able to live here and raise our family here and be part of the church, or chase the professional thing of moving up to becoming a headmaster. And then out of the blue, I got a call.
We're on the phone with Ryan McKelvey. We're starting a Christian school. We need a rock star headmaster. It might be you, it might not be you. Here's my vision. I'm going to talk for 30 minutes. I'm going to vision dump. I get done and I go, if your wife heard we were having this conversation, what would she say? And he goes, actually, I think she's packing as we speak. It's crazy. And he said, I thought that we were called to Denver, but I can't put my career path in front of the health of my family. And my family needs a strong Christian community that they can be anchored in. I'll figure it out on the job front. That's the conversation that we stepped into when I said, would you consider coming up and being headmaster? And he's like, funny you say that. We were just talking about moving back to Wenatchee to be part of Grace City Church. And I said, Ryan, I just want to make sure that you're feeling the weight of what we're asking, because I know I am. I said, we're asking you to uproot your family, to leave a very stable environment, to move back to Wenatchee, to start a school for which we have no money, no property, no building, no families, no teachers, and no students for. How does that make you feel? And without missing a beat, he goes, exhilarated. We want our graduates to have a deep love for, an insatiable curiosity of the world that God made, distinctly and thoroughly Christian, unapologetically God-centered, classical in the framework that we're working with the natural development of a child's mind, Socratic in philosophy, where we're not just telling them what to think, we're teaching them how to think, and then equip them with the capacity to continue learning long into their life after they left our school. Our vision with this school is that it would be 1.0 of 100 schools to come. We want to write the playbook. We want to articulate clearly. We want to build the system that we could hand to any Christian leader, business leader, church leader, kingdom builder in any county, in any city, in our state. And we could say, here's what we've done. Take best practices, do your own thing, make it work. That's when the tide will begin to turn. When parents and students and teachers have alternatives to the monopoly that is currently the government school. We wanted a name that captured the essence of the story that we're in. God comes to the family in the garden, and the first words he says to them is, be fruitful, multiply, fill the earth, and subdue it. All of that started in a garden, but it's going to end in a garden-like city, and in the middle of that city is a river supporting the trees of life. Wenatchee is a garden city. Everywhere you look in our valley are rows and rows and rows and rows of gorgeous green fruit trees. Because from the desert sprang a garden as men and women and families moved here to be fruitful, to fill the earth, to exercise dominion over the river and subdue the chaos of creation and bring the order of a garden to what is now this beautiful city we live in. Because in the garden, when God came to mankind, what was the first vocation he charged them with? It was farming. Like, that's what we do in our town. We work hard, we're industrious, we take dry, barren, rocky ground and we clean it and we till the soil and we plant seed and we harness the river and we build irrigation ditches and we water the ground and we grow food that feeds the world. And this name captured it. Garden City Academy Farmers. Locally, we're a garden city because of a river that runs through the middle of it. Galactically, the story ends in a garden city with a river running through it. But personally, every man and woman born because of brokenness and sin begins life as a dry and barren desert until the river of life, Jesus Christ, runs into the desert of their existence. And where the river of life is, there can be a garden city in the heart of every child who finds Jesus.